But it just gets super hot here after a second.
So you were talking to this guy in England.
So I was talking to this guy, and he started talking. I actually was like, I'm going to flirt with this guy, because I love English accents, and I'm about to go over there, and I'd like someone my age that I could hang out with. So I didn't even look up his age. He just looked like in his photos to be close to my age. And so I started talking to him on Viber today, and we start getting heavy. And heavy meaning like we just start talking about life and how mundane things can become and how little things actually are and how much energy we put into things that really don't really matter.
It was getting deep.
No, shit got deep immediately. And at first I even made a comment like, haha, I actually got on the phone with you to flirt with you. And now it's turned into a serious talk. And he's like, oh, sorry to disappoint you. And I was like, no, actually, it's very surprising. So then he starts talking to me. And this kid is literally giving me epiphanies left and right. He is like opening up my fucking eyes. He's like talking about, expectations on yourself and on people, how... the basic, like everyone else would say, the basic hippie shit, but I needed to hear that basic hippie shit. That's something I needed to hear. And I was so, taking about it. I would have thought this guy was in his not that he sounded or looked, but I barely looked at his picture anyway. Not that he sounded or looked, but I would have thought this guy was in his mid-30s and very well experienced as well. So I'm talking to him, and he's, making me cry a little bit. And he's opening my eyes, and I'm feeling so cathartic and all this stuff. And then at one point in the conversation, I was just like, how old are you? And this is where this whole conversation comes up. He goes, 19. 19 years old. I was schooled for 2 hours, and literally schooled where his words meant something to me, had depth. I was listening. By a 19-year-old boy. That's not something intense. I don't know what the fuck is. No, that couldn't have... He sounded like he had 3 lives over mine. Like the most experienced guy I talked to in a while. He was a 19-year-old boy.
Well, I hear the educational system in England is very good.
I wasn't... It was, maybe so. But it wasn't like he was talking about history. He was talking about self-awareness and self-appreciation. And I would never expect that from a 20-year-old because most years still going through a lot of hormone changes still at 20, especially men, no offense. But he was so wise beyond his years that it not only shocked me, it just was so impressive. I couldn't believe it. And he'd be like, are you sure it's okay to keep talking to me? I'm like, I'm sorry that I sound so shocked. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. It's just, I talk to people who are twice my age, mid-40s, late 40s, early 50s, and they tell me shit every day. And you would think, oh, listen to them. They have experience. They have life. And I do, and I always have. Not to say all the advice has been wrong, but what you've just told me has been mountains above what they have told me. I actually feel good about myself for the first time in a long time. And it took a 19-year-old boy from a different country to make me do that on a random phone call that I would never usually make.
What was on the phone?
Who?
You said a phone call?
Yeah, it was a phone call. It was through Viber, so it was like an internet-free phone call. I don't want to say his name because I don't know if that's something he would want.
Did this influence your decision to want to travel to Europe?
Oh no, my ticket had already been bought. That's why I was talking to him in the first place, because I wanted to hang out with him. After I found out his age, that's when I was like, I even asked him, like, is it okay for me to hang out with you? But legal age of
Oh right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, is actually 18
right.
there. So actually, it would
People in the industry have certain constraints. You gotta watch out.
no, well, here in
that.
America, I can't talk. If you're under 18, I can't talk to you about anything sexual. There, I mean, just alcohol. Because I was gonna be like, hey, when I get there, we have to drink, we have to, do all that stuff. But he was like, I'm straight edge. I'm a vegan. I don't do, all this shit. It was just, like I said, it was the biggest shocking surprise I've seen in my life for me to give my heart out and tell all this deep-seated issue shit to the stranger, and then find out the stranger is a 19-year-old boy schooling a 26-year-old woman who has been through, hell and back. It was so impressive. I told that he was very self-conscious after that, like, is it okay? And I was like, no, you have no idea what you've done for me. And, like, this has not only been eye-opening, it's shocking.
Sounds like a very good experience.
Shocking.